My name is Daniel, and I've decided to make a video about something that I've been suffering from for over 4 years now. And that is long COVID, sometimes referred to as COVID fatigue syndrome. Uh, I'm making the video in part to just create awareness over this thing that literally tens of thousands of people in America and all over the world deal with, and yet still it's widely unknown. Uh, it's a chronic condition. A certain percentage of people who have had COVID and have quote unquote gotten better, i.e., are no longer infectious, never really get over the symptoms. Sometimes they just last for weeks, sometimes months. And in the case of some people like me, it can go on and last for years. It's a it's a multi-symptom, full body dysregulation. It manages to attack a lot of different systems within the body, and not all people suffer from the same kinds of symptoms. I tend to experience the majority of the most common symptoms, which can probably be best described as in chronic fatigue syndrome type symptoms. A lot of what I experience seems to be dysregulation of autoimmune systems. A lot of what I experience has to do with neurological and cognitive. And I don't want to say I have good weeks and bad weeks, good days and bad days. I have okay days and okay weeks, and then really horrible days and horrible weeks. And there are certain things that are consistent all the time. Um, One of them, one of the main ones is, they call it chronic fatigue. They should call it chronic exhaustion. So a lot of what I experience is crushing exhaustion, both mental and physical. People who are around me from time to time don't often see this because when I'm experiencing what I refer to as crashes, I'm not around people. But on a regular day, it's not uncommon for me to have to be completely horizontal anywhere from 2 to 5 hours because I literally can't focus, I can't think. Sometimes I have a hard time even walking. I feel so wiped out. I feel hit by a bus, basically. Another one of the common symptoms is brain fog. At its most severe, the brain fog would be so bad that I would forget what I was saying in the middle of a sentence in a conversation. I would walk across the room, and by the time I got to the other side of the room, I had no recollection of why I'd gotten up to go over there. And it's very common. I take a drug now called low dose naltrexone, which helps significantly with the brain fog, which is great. Another interesting symptom is I've developed really, really severe migraine style headaches. Um, Sometimes they can last hours, and they have been known to last literally days. I've developed a really severe sensitivity to light, and the light sensitivity can often trigger these headaches. Light sensitivity can also trigger massive sneezing fits, which is in and of itself exhausting. If you have a sneezing fit for 6 minutes, it can totally wipe you out, surprisingly. Another common symptom that I experience as well is sleep disruption. Sometimes that's a hard time getting to sleep. Sometimes it's a hard time staying asleep, but it's not uncommon for me to wake up for 2 hours in the middle of the night and not be able to get to sleep. Eventually I get back, but everything's just out of whack when I finally do wake up. And I also have a lot of experience with night sweats where I completely soak through absolutely everything night after night, which suggests to me that my body is fighting something. I can't really work. There's something called POTS, which is I'm going to say it wrong. Post-orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. Basically, if you do anything too physical, you can get racing heart and sometimes dizziness. So you got to take it easy on everything. Like I can't go to the gym, I can't work out because it will trigger complete dizziness and racing heart. Uh, and then the last thing, and this is also very common with not chronic fatigue as much, I think, as with long COVID specifically, but a real generalized anxiety. And I don't know exactly why this happens, but it does happen. Anyway, all of these things I've been dealing with for 4 years, and it's made it impossible for me to work, if for no other reason, because half the time at 10 in the morning, I have to lay down for 3 hours. Um, so I don't know. Why am I making this video? It's not for sympathy or anything like that, but it is to bring people's attention to the reality of long COVID and to the fact that it exists. And I think the awareness is important. Tens, if not hundreds of thousands of people deal with different forms of long COVID. I consider myself fortunate because I'm still able to get around. I've known some people that have had it so bad that they literally are bedridden. What's weird about long COVID is that it's a diagnosis of deduction. So you have all these symptoms, something's obviously wrong. You get tested for everything under the sun. You're getting brain scans, you're getting blood work, you're getting everything, and everything says, oh, you're fine. Uh, you almost wish something was wrong so you could pinpoint it and then say, I can treat that. But with long COVID, there is no treatment, there's no test for it. I do have faith that eventually they'll figure out how to treat it and sort of what those mechanisms are. There are beginning to be some clinical trials, but a lot of them are very hard to get into because if you have tens of thousands of people trying to get into a clinical trial that might only accept, 100, maybe 200 people in it, you can often be out of luck. Um, anyway, I just want to make this video, make people aware that this is a thing. It's certainly a thing I'm dealing with, and it sucks, and I hate it. I thought about not making this video for a long time, and I've kind of gone back and forth. And I finally decided it was probably just time to talk about it. It's nothing I'm ashamed of. It's something I'm frustrated with, but I continue to move forward. I continue to try to be creative. I'm doing my podcast. And if you see the podcast, I seem fine because very often I can power through it for an hour and then I crash even worse later. So I pay for it on the other end. But it's worth it for me. So I do it. Anyway, if you've gotten this far, thank you. And if you've not heard of long COVID, I'm going to include a few links down in the show notes just so you can dig a little deeper and get a little more awareness of what long COVID is.